Talk about a big swing. A giant swing.
A big giant swing.
You've seen the title. The artist formerly known as Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli, is now All Elite. He made his debut replacing Bryan Danielson last night at Forbidden Door. He competed against Zack Sabre Jr. in a banger.
Oh my God, it was really, do you know what? And I think he got one of the biggest pops of the night as well, Tom. I think everybody was so happy to see him there. I think there's a lot of good matchups on the card for our Claudio down the line.
And it started strong with Zack Sabre Jr. These two had a cracker that Claudio picked up the win with. And at the end of the night, he was involved in a scrum, in a physical scrum before the media scrum with the Jericho Appreciation Society and the Blackpool Combat Club that saw him giving out some swing-based action to Matt Maynard. We even got a little bit of that back and forth between him and Eddie Kingston.
And this makes me think, right? They are going to coexist for blood and guts. Get
And
Jericho out of the picture. I think they will get Jericho out of the picture, and then I think we move on to a program with Claudio and Eddie Kingston.
We roll back the years to Chikara with Claudio and Eddie Kingston. So, in the hours before the show started last night, Forbidden Door, Fiverr were told that promotional material tied to the Blood and Guts show featured Claudio in the pictures. And that led to pretty much all but confirming he was going to be there, and then he was. Tony Khan went into a bit more detail about the signing of Claudio in the media scrum that's finishing just now as we speak, saying, I asked him about coming in before I knew Bryan would be out. So basically, he wanted to bring Tony Khan in as part of ROH's return. And then that process sped up when Bryan Danielson got hurt.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson even suggested to him, why don't you have Claudio replace me? What Bryan didn't know is that Tony had already signed Claudio by this point on the slide. He was like, well, funny you say that, mate.
Accident.
A very happy accident. John Moxley in the media scrum said Claudio was a no-brainer to join the Combat Club. Talked about how he was a trainee of Regal, a former training partner of his from years ago. Encouraged people to watch him knock his teeth out on Peacock. That was that famous match that resulted in Claudio, then Cesaro, having to wear braces for ages.
For a while, yeah.
We did even hear from the man himself in the media scrum after the show, saying that joining AEW and the Blackpool Combat Club just fits. Says he's always looking for new challenges. Feels like a kid in a candy store in AEW. Ending by saying Claudio is All Elite. We even got the Tony Khan official tweet seal of approval of his signing as well. We're excited for Claudio, aren't we?
So excited. I think it's one of those, I think for a long time, we were kind of hoping he would go over to AEW. Obviously, we said many a time, the roster is stacked. However, I think for Claudio, his style of wrestling, he is very much a wrestler's wrestler, right? And I think he fits in so well with a lot of the roster in AEW too. Now, whether, down the line he breaks off from the Combat Club and we get matches between him and Danielson and him and Moxley, and whatever it is that we see him do in the future, I think is going to be absolutely fantastic. And I really hope so. I really hope that there is a lot in store for Claudio, because I think he deserves it so much. Towards the end of his WWE run, we saw him get these big, he got these big pushes for a little while, right? And we thought, this is the time. This is when they're going to capitalize on everything. And they didn't quite do that. And I think hopefully now in AEW, it's time to pull that blooming trigger, Tom, and get him at the top of the card.
Wasn't the only debut from last night's show on AEW television, was it?
No, it wasn't. Shibata, Sam Driver, you heard him go, oh yeah.
He made that noise.
He made that noise right there.
It was indeed following the banger of the IWGP US title match between Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay that we saw the United Empire trying to rip the pockets off of Orange Cassidy.
How dare you?
That's a crime in 10 countries. It's punishable by being put in a tower. This led to the arrival of Shibata, and talk about Claudio getting the big reaction of the night. I think Shibata's was up there too.
Huge.
Big love for Shibata.
Absolutely.
Shibata did indeed Shibata Aussie Open. Was gonna put the finishing touches on Will Ospreay as well, getting him in the rear naked choke, but Aussie Open were able to save him. And then we had a moment which I'm sure is already divided wrestling fans, with Arna's nail Shibata being given the glasses of Orange Cassidy and giving the thumbs up. I thought was fine.
I love that. I like the contrast. You know how we know Shibata, him being this hard hitting, absolutely no flips given person, and to have this contrast with Orange Cassidy, you know, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a nice little touch. And it was also another big name that turned up at the pay-per-view, you know. We were a little bit worried because quite a few people were taken off or maybe put in at last minute, but this was really, really nice to see someone with that sort of caliber turn up at Forbidden Door.
Exactly. We're sending our best wishes. We'll end on this one. Adam Cole and Dax Harwood both getting banged up during the show. We'll start with Dax Harwood. FTR retaining the ROH tag titles, but winning the IWGP tag titles, beating Roppongi Vice, Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan. But early in the match, Harwood seemed to hurt his shoulder on an elbow drop, got taken out of the arena to get examined, which left Wheeler all alone for the bulk of the match. Harwood would return, taped up shoulder and all, to make the tag, eventually guide FTR to a win with a big rig on Rocky Romero.
Oh, yeah.
Now, they haven't, there was some suggestion this might have been a bit of a story thing they were telling. Yeah. It did look like he'd suffered a proper injury.
It did a little bit. And as we said whilst we were doing the stream, Tom, like, it feels as though Dax would be the kind of person that would go to the back, be like, take me up, I'll get back out there and finish it. Like, he seems like the kind of person that would do that. Hopefully it's nothing super serious, because I think during the match as well, people were working on said arm too, so I'm hoping it actually wasn't as bad as what we maybe thought it could have been before he came back to the ring. But yeah, really happy to see them pick up the win in this one, and fingers crossed that Dax is all right as well.
We said our best wishes to Adam Cole, who was another person that got injured during the show last night. He took the pinfall in rather an awkward finish to the IWGP title match that featured Okada, Jay White, and Hangman Page as well. So I've watched the finish a few times now, and what happens is that Cole ducks a Rainmaker, which then he then sort of crumbles into the corner.
Yeah.
Jay White gets into the ring, hits the Blade Runner on Okada, and then pins Cole. And it was as we watched it, I was like, is that meant to happen?
As it felt quite anticlimactic, right? But then sort of after the pinfall happened, we saw Jay White, he was whispering in the ear of the referee, and it kind of felt like, ooh, something maybe has gone on here. Yes,
sometimes I think that sort of thing can give it away. Post-match, as Jay White heads back up the ramp, he didn't hang around, went up the ramp with the belt. The Young Bucks pass him, and the Young Bucks head to the ring where there's already medical teams sort of surrounding Adam Cole. Sean Ross Sapp on Twitter put, Adam Cole has been working through a rough labrum injury. He's held together by K-tape, and there's a concern that this is either an exacerbated injury or another injury. Some saying potentially he popped his shoulder out. Some say it could be something more. Now, at time of recording this, which is very early in the morning, we don't know the full details of it yet. I know for a fact that we'll have more details on it throughout the day as it develops. Maybe by now, more will have come to light. The best way to find out would be throughout the day, checking cultaholic.com or checking back a little later on today here on the YouTube channel for more details on that. But we send our best wishes to Adam Cole, who just seems to have, in terms of injuries, had some rotten luck lately.
I think just the AEW roster in general recently, especially surrounding this pay-per-view.
Speaks for the roster in general, doesn't it? A lot of that going on. We even saw, I just want to briefly mention Lance Archer in the pre-show.
Yeah, spiking himself,
getting into the ring. It was just there's something in the air at the moment. I'm going to use that phrase snake biss again. But we'll talk more about the show as the day goes on as well. The latest coming from it at cultaholic.com. You'll be able to check out what happened at AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door on the channel, and the WTF moments with Ross as well. And we had a nice time with your live reactions.
Was lovely.
That you can watch now. Have you still got a lot of Frangelico in your system?
Absolutely. I'm crashing, Tom, big time.
Yeah.
I want to smash my head against this table right now.
Tell you what, let's not do that. Let's go home and leave the day team to sort out the mess. More news throughout the day at cultaholic.com from AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door. Keith.
Love you. Bye.